John Kovac, GardenStateHSWrestling.com. We are at St. Joseph High School in Metuchen, New Jersey for the Garden State Wrestling Prospect Camp. We are joined by Mia Macaluso. She is an assistant women's wrestling coach at East Stroudsburg University. And I just want to start off by congratulating you on the NCAA finally recognizing women's wrestling as its own sport. You just led a session for girls out there on the mats. How has the adjustment been to it finally being an NCAA sport?
I think having it recognized as an NCAA sport is helping more girls join the sport, because I know a lot of girls join lacrosse or soccer like I did. I was like, I want to do that in college. I can be in the NCAA national championship one day. That's a goal that I can have in mind. That wasn't a goal I could have when I was being recruited for college wrestling when I first went into college. It wasn't NCAA, it was NWCA. Now all the girls, I feel like it's going to grow the sport and it's going to make a big movement. And I can already tell by this clinic today, having so many girls there, it's going to help a lot.
You grew up in Orange County, New York. You wrestled there, but I'm sure at that time you were primarily matched against boys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. In high school, I only wrestled boys. I would only wrestle girls if my dad put me in the car and we drove 2 to 3 hours or got on a plane to go wrestle girls a few states away. So that was the only opportunities I got.
As a coach, what do you see as differences now that we have women versus women on the mat?
I think the skills are amazing on the mat. Girls do wrestle differently than guys. It's a different style. Girls wrestle differently, and you can tell what girls step on the mat who trains with boys like 24/7. You can tell. I wrestled with boys my whole life, so I know that's helped me in certain ways, but wrestling girls and having the opportunity to wrestle with girls my weight and my strength has also helped me be more successful in my sport as well. So having the opportunity to be with the girls is something that is ideal for most girls.
Can you go into some of the differences that you've noticed?
I think, so say I did a double leg on a guy,
Right.
It's going to be easier for them to get away from it. But a girl, really heavy hips, you don't want to get stuck under them. But girls are really flexible out of certain positions. Don't get me wrong, there's guys that are very flexible. When I watched NCAA, some guys are doing stuff I've never seen before. But girls tend to be more flexible, and just their bodies move differently on the mat than guys. So you want to train with those people that you're going to compete with. So having more partners and more resources is very ideal for young girl wrestlers right now.
And today you were leading a group of wrestlers from grade school really to rising seniors in high school. What are you seeing in them? And in the ones that we talk to, there's a lot of desire to continue at the college level.
So I'm grateful enough I got to talk with some girls that were juniors and seniors about their futures in college. Even if it's not my college, I'm an advocate for women's wrestling. And if you don't want to come to my school, there's another school that'll have opening arms to you and have exactly what you need. There's more programs opening up all across the country that have so many opportunities. I know there's some things that girl wrestlers can't do in college. If you want to wrestle, it's like you're picking, do I want to be a lawyer or do I want to be a wrestler? I don't think that person should have to decide. I think having a school with law school and wrestling is something ideal. So I think in these next few years coming up, girls are going to have way more opportunities and they're not going to have to pick. They're going to be able to do what the guys do and go do what they want to do.
How many clinics like this have you attended and led?
I do over 15 a summer, probably. I do a lot over the summer. I try to give back into the New York and the tri-state as much as I can, because that's what helped me be the person I am today. I know I was lucky enough to come back to PA and I didn't have to go far when I wanted to coach in college. But having that opportunity to do that is great.
Any prospects that you found today who might
Yeah, I had a bunch of inquiries today. I brought my little info card, so I can bring that in, plug them into the system. I can start my recruiting process with them, helping them see if they can, everything, check boxes. What we like to say is your pros and cons of each school, do check boxes. If that school maybe has 4 out of the 5 check boxes you have, maybe that's something for you, but then that school with 5 check boxes, that can be good coach, good with their athletes, professors are good, school's good, fun campus, the campus is alive. If you're depending on the weather, whatever you want, like just have your check boxes, whatever you want in a school, you get to pick. It's ultimately up to the athlete.
What advice would you have for a parent whose young girl has seen some of the NCAA wrestling or high school wrestling and wants to get into it? Could you give a little advice as to what path they could put her on?
Mhm. Yeah, so I've had a lot of girls come up to me and be like, "Oh, my dad never let me," like girls my age. They're like, "Oh, my dad or mom never let me wrestle." When I was younger, they were scared. They were scared. I've gotten hurt more in lacrosse and soccer than I ever have in wrestling. I know wrestling can be very dangerous at times, but it's a controlled sport. It's more of a skilled sport. It can be aggressive, but I don't think wrestling is so much like something you need to be scared of. But rather than don't hold it off, throw them in earlier. I don't think competing right away when you're young is ideal. So I don't want my 8-year-old niece or nephew to start wrestling at 8 years old and compete before they turn 9. I don't think that's ideal. I think practice is what makes the wrestlers. Competition is very important, getting in that mindset, but it's all about having fun right now. Wrestling's a fun, it could be a recreational sport.
Find a program where they can learn. We can edit that. Find a program where they can learn and then start to compete after they've got the basics down.
Yeah, I think as a parent, you should be doing research. Google's right there on your phone. You can Google any clinics like this coming up. My parents tried to get me into seeing role models, so I had all male coaches that I'm very grateful for, but my dad put me in those positions where I can go look up to a woman that's in my sport and be like, I can be like her one day. Some people don't get to do that when they're in high school and they have all male coaches and they don't see any leading figures, role models that are women. So I think getting to those clinics as much as possible is very good.
And that's changing now. We're seeing more women in coaching positions and making a name for themselves in wrestling as the sport continues to grow.
Yeah. And I think being a woman coach in the industry it's been very different for me. I'm 23 years old. I just got out of college last year. I've definitely got a decent amount of, not hate, but comments towards me saying I'm too young or stuff like that. Maybe I'm too young, but I think we're right where I need to be, and showing other younger girls like you could do this right out of college. You can have a job right out of college with this sport. So giving back and networking, gaining connections. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone, make friends with someone. You never know that you'll have them later down the road.
It looked like you had an impact on the young wrestlers out there on the mat with you. Mia Macaluso, thank you so much for joining us on GardenStateHSWrestling.com. Awesome.